sky.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. I am pain.
Good evening, boys and girls, ghosts and ghouls, family and friends. Welcome to this week's episode of Sacrificial Terror Podcast. Tonight is our 5th episode. I'm Sam I Am Mason with the always fabulous
Zombie Barbie.
And my cohort and Mr. Incomparable,
Lance Wagner. Boom.
That's right, baby. And tonight's show is brought to you by Sacrificial Pawn Productions and produced by Samantha Wagner and Miss Zombie Barbie herself. Tonight's show, we have a very special guest, Mr. Nicholas Tana, creator of Hell's Kitty the movie, the web series, the comic book, and now the musical, which I had the honor of and pleasure of viewing the very first showing at the Hollywood Fringe Festival.
Awesome.
Mr. Nicholas, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We've been super excited to get you on here.
Very excited.
It's cool. I dig Lance's shirt, the cat. Yeah,
That's for you, Nicholas. That's for you.
Just for you.
I won't ask what kind of underwear.
That's, yeah. I went commando tonight.
Nice. A little bit TMI, bro. A little bit
That's right.
TMI. So, okay. So, Nick, so what we're going to be reviewing tonight, we're going to be reviewing the movie Hell's Kitty, and we're going to give you an opportunity to talk about all the other stuff you have going on with it. So why don't you tell me about how you created Hell's Kitty and how this all came about?
How did I go about? I'm sorry, you broke up a little. How did I go about creating Hell's Kitty?
Correct.
That's right, Nick. Can you hear me?
Well, it really very meta experience. I can hear you now. Yeah, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Okay. I am? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hopefully the internet looks good on my end, but you never know. It's a friend's internet, so I'm at a barbecue Sunday, family day. But how did I start Hell's Kitty? Hell's Kitty came about very reflexively as part of my life. I had a cat named Angel, who in many ways wasn't so angelic, especially when it came to my dating, to the point where she would physically scare and intimidate any women in my life that got too close.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was sort of a personal horror story of sorts, but she was so loving and cuddly to me that it was really hard for me to accept the fact that that she could be villainous, but when it came to other people, it was pretty obvious after a while that she was very jealous, and she would stop at nothing to ruin my love life, basically, and keep any women away from me. So so it eventually, they say write about what you know. My friends would laugh about this situation too afterwards, and we're like, this is your story right here. You wanted to do a web show. I wanted to get involved in new media. I had been a director for ESPN and did some other TV production things, and so this was my chance to do something with my cat, my camera, and my apartment, and tell a very personal story, taking a little bit of poetic license, adding a little bit of blood here and there, and some zombies and things.
Some killer
So
clowns.
that's basically how. Some killer clowns.
Killer clowns was
and
awesome.
basically
I was like, oh my God. That was so
basically
cool.
anything I fell in love with from the 80s horror scene, if I can get it in there, I did.
That was awesome.
And that's pretty much what Hell's Kitty became, starting as a web show and then became a movie and now a musical. So.
That's awesome. We watched the movie, me and Lance.
I did too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were watching the same night, and I was like, "Oh,
Right?
I'm so tired, but I want to finish it." It was good. I was laughing.
I'll put a good review on IMDb for you, Nicholas.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, I hope you caught all the Easter eggs. There are plenty of them.
Oh yeah.
Guys.
And the cast you had was amazing. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
let's go ahead and talk about the cast that we actually have for this movie real quick. I actually have you pulled up on Wikipedia right now, so we're going to run over this real quick. For everybody out there that doesn't know, Hell's Kitty is a 2018 American comedy horror film based on a web series and a comic book of the same name, which aired during the 2011 during 2015. The web series is said to be based on true life events of the writer-director Nicholas Tana's real-life experiences living with the strange cat Angel, which he actually just talked about. So fantastic. And then Hell's Kitty makes its musical theater debut at the Hollywood Fringe Festival in June 2019, which, again, I had the pleasure of being there and seeing the very first showing, and it was absolutely phenomenal. So getting to the cast real quick, you have a lot of star power in this film, which is amazing. You have Doug Jones as Father Damien.
I love him.
Right?
Just won an Academy Award. I mean, no big deal.
Yeah. You know,
No
you
biggie.
have
I caught him a little before that, but yeah.
Right.
right. You know, you have Dale Midkiff as Rosemary Carey. You have Adrienne Barbeau as Miss Carey.
See the creep show back there, Nicholas?
Yeah.
That's for Adrian.
Yeah, there
Right.
you go.
You have Lee Merriweather as Grandma Kyle. Michael Berryman is Detective Pluto.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously? You know, you have Courtney Gaines as Morticia. You have John Franklin as Isaiah, right?
Pretty close.
Well, no, that's what it says on,
No,
on
that's-
there. It's
that's
not
what
a
the-
she.
Yeah,
It's
he was
a
a
she.
smaller
Right.
guy in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Isaac.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. The children
So
of the
we
corn, I
have
was like, holy
John
shit.
Franklin. Yeah, John Franklin is Isaiah. Lynn Lowry is the medium. Kelly Maroney is Esmeralda. Ashley C. Williams is Lindsay. Barbara, somebody help me with this.
Eljakova. Yeah. Yeah.
That as Natalia, and then Bill Oberst Jr. as
That's
Father
my friend.
Blake.
Bill.
Right?
I love him.
Papa
You know,
Cord,
Amazing
man.
So-
man. Yep.
Dude, now this is an indie horror, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is it a SAG film?
No, not in the sense that it's independent. It was because really, truth be told, it was a web show that we kind of cobbled together as a feature. So
Okay.
so we made the web show and decided, look, let's reskin this, so to speak, because the story can be told that way, and let's
Right.
get it out as a feature film where you can actually get distribution. Whereas the one thing I discovered about new media and the internet is there's really no money in it. It's just there's very limited money anyway, unless you're making, unless you're one of the very 0.0005% YouTube people maybe that have billions of followers. There's not much money in it. It's more of a pitching ground. And it was a great way to get some attention. It was a great way to build attention for our nonprofit sponsors. We use this to promote Fix Nation and certain organizations that help cats.
Right.
But it was always used to be a world builder with the intent of then going and getting a feature, and the ultimate intent being, let's build a world, let's build a fan base. However, we distribute it as a musical and maybe as a television show, which is one of our goals at some point. So.
Okay.
When was it made? Because I didn't actually look at when it was made.
I couldn't find it in IMDb.
Well, this is the truth be told, is, I mean, if you consider when we started the web show, and that's principal because we leveraged a lot of the footage from the web show, and we really started this back in maybe 2011, 2012. And so thinking about
Right.
the complexity of continuity to maintain the same haircut and the same body type for a period
Right.
of 5 to 6 years
Wow.
and make it look like it somewhat flows, it was a super creative challenge.
I thought I caught
I
Adam a few
wouldn't have-
times.
What's that?
I thought I caught Adam a few times with longer hair. I couldn't
Yeah,
quite tell, you know.
Yeah. So we play with it in the movie with the whole
Right.
scene, like I grew a beard, you know, when I look into the mirror and it reflect the moment. Now I could have easily shaved. I knew where I was. I could have shaved. I kept track of that. But I was like, you know what? I'm sure I'm going to miss something. So let me just
Right.
throw that out there as this goof play with the supernatural. So if I miss something down the line, we can just call it this is a weird world.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how did you get the actors who are, you know, big name horror actors, especially, to do your film on an independent circuit without violating the SAG rights?
You know, to be honest, because we did as a web show, and you know, the truth be told is SAG rights could be violated on a web show. I mean, like in all theory, like you're taking a risk doing anything. You're not supposed to do anything without a new media contract. But, but you know, I think that the unions are really at a stage where we need to catch up with what the state of the independent film industry is and the state of film in general. And when you're dealing, I think it should be based on budget alone, and with like the production budget on a project. And to some extent, it is. New media is based on budget, but truth be told, is a lot of actors are experimenting with new media and experimenting with indie films. And they don't necessarily say things, and sometimes, you know, you can get away with it and sometimes you can't, you know. And in this case, we were so indie, I think we flew under the radar. So I don't think it's a big deal. So, yeah.
Can I ask one thing real quick?
So hopefully you're not going to put this out there and get us in trouble.
No.
No, not at all. Well, no, the reason I'm actually asking is because I've had that difficulty with my feature Normal Terror. And as far as attracting star power to it and attaching names to it, because it is a non-union film. So that was why I was asking, you know, as far as that goes, because you do have some really big names.
I think if we would have just started as a feature, it would have never happened. But I think because we did it as a new media, that they were more inclined to take that chance. I think that's what it was. So, but I also do think that we're in a new stage where, like, independent film, everything's got to change. The whole game's got to change. It's changing right in front of our eyes, and it's not what it used to be. And the reality is, like, those old rules just don't apply today. They just don't. You know, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but like, independent film just does not make the money it used to make unless you're making Marvel movies and you're distributed by the studios. It's actually pretty much, you're going to lose even with worldwide distribution if you're going to put any quality into your production. So it's become like a resume piece for filmmakers. You know, the real money's in television right now. That's just where it's at. And does it mean you can't make money in a feature? I mean, I guess you could, but you'd have to have like the perfect storm. I think like Blumhouse has sort of a model that's working, but I think it has to do with investing in like a slate of films, not just one-offs. And if you have a slate of films and you're able to get a certain amount of people on that at a certain budget, I think there's room for investment, but you have to have in with the studios, you have to have in with the theaters, you have to be able to distribute like a Blumhouse does. And if you can't do that, then I don't think there's a chance. And so I never expected to make money on Hell's Kitty. That was never my goal. My goal was to build a brand, put something cool together on like nothing, on what most people make student films for, and just know I could do it. And that's really what my goal was. And I think for that, we've really accomplished it. So,
And so that was really your cat in the movie, right?
That was really my cat. Yeah, that was really my cat. That was really my partner.
Wow.
That was really my friend Adam, who lived across the way.
Oh,
that was really Lisa, the girl I date with.
Can I ask about
really
Adam?
Went bad.
Nick, can I ask about Adam?
Adam, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a vibe from when y'all two interacted. I got a vibe of Dante and Randall from Clerks. Was that just something I was feeling, or was that on purpose? Because I really felt like he had a real Randall vibe to him, you know?
That's fine. No, that was just you pulling that out. I mean, he was just being himself. I know he's like a friend. I know he's a fan of like Ryan Reynolds movies and things like that. So I think he has his thing that he kind of like humor-wise. But he's just, that's Adam. I literally didn't have to write that. I just put words to paper that were what things he would say.
He was hilarious.
Yeah, he's really the only non-actor in the show, and he comes across really authentic because himself, really.
Dude,
I mean, his yeah.
And the puns that you guys did were absolutely phenomenal, man.
Good stuff.
Dude, yeah, and I got to throw this one out there because it was one of my favorite. Nobody likes a bloody kitty. Dude, that was fucking great.
I think I texted you. I was like, they totally just said that.
I was cracking up.
And of course, I said kitty for personal reasons, and you know this is being broadcast, so.
Well, I can tell you, as a musical, that's been extremely offensive to certain people in the theater scene. It's just different people either love it or hate it, and we live in a different era now, where there's a lot of change in terms of what's considered offensive, what's not offensive. Whereas things in the past I didn't think would be offensive can be offensive, and it's an interesting time we live in. But I my intention with that line was I had a girlfriend that would say that kind of thing because she just hated that time of the month, right? So I was viewing it as like it was a party, you know, like she hated it, she'd get cranky and not in a good mood, and so I was like, this is like just not a party, you know. It wasn't like any towards that the subject or but just it's something that people are not comfortable with. Doesn't mean it's derogatory towards the period or anything like that. I know there was a documentary film recently all about that. And
won an Academy Award.
Negative.
Yeah, it won an Academy Award too. You know?
Yeah.
And then you guys also did the psycho scene where your neighbor like admits that he's in love with you, and you have that homosexual vibe to that which
nuts.
is awesome. But it was funny as hell the way you guys presented it and carried it out.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing in the musical, especially, and in the movie. Like, what I really thought was beautiful about that is I actually had a relationship with a friendship relationship with a friend in college who I had no idea that this person was gay, and he didn't tell me till many, many years later. And in fact, the funny thing is we met. He was a very talented artist. And he would draw pictures, really like sexy pictures of women in class, and to the point where I'd be like, what are you doing? And he'd put like faces of teachers on there, things that would probably get serious trouble now. This was years ago. And he was super talented. He worked as a cinematographer for Playboy for a while, and he had great concept of lighting. And most of our relationship, he would act. He had tons of beautiful girlfriends, and I had no idea that he was gay. He never said it. He never came out. He never told me anything. He never was, never pursued me or anything, or said he had any affection for me in that way. And so we were like really good buds. And then later he did tell me, and I had no problem with it. Of course, I was like, hey, great, fine. It was just weird because you go that long with a relationship, you think you know all the honesty. You just want to tell everyone everything, especially if they're a good friend of yours. And so I just took it as he was really shy about this. And look, we live in a time that's not necessarily very friendly to people that don't fit a certain mold. And so I got it, and I was fine with it. But I think, occasionally he would pursue me and like say certain things and do things. And I was like, hey man, no, it's just, this is the way I see you. I'm a friend, and that's just the way it feels for me. I'm not attracted to you in that way. So I think it was a little bit of a personal. In the case of Adam, that was not the case at all. To be candid, he was just a buddy of mine. But he would joke with me a little bit around that. So that's another one that I some people will totally get. I think it's a generational thing. Some people might take it as that. And I mean no disrespect to anyone that doesn't fit the norm of what is sexual by any means, because I think we're really stuck in that kind of puritanical society in many ways when it comes to sexuality. So I think to each his own, but I love the relationship Nick and Adam have. I think there's a real good real good friendship there, you know, to the extent where Adam's one of the most heroic characters. He sacrifices himself. I mean, like, how many friends would do that for somebody else? You know, I mean, that's just, I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I would.
I like how he answers the questions you're thinking, like, why's he got a camera? Why's he walking with a camera? And
Right.
asking, what are you doing with a camera? You know, it's like, I thought that was hilarious.
Right.
Well, also, that was also partly his character, but also if you think about found footage horror movies, and that became a big rage in the last like decade.
Yeah.
I wanted to parody all horror movies as an homage to mostly horror movies. So there's this like kind of found footage element to that scene in the movie. There's the ghost story. There's the Bloody Valentine story. There's the slasher movie. There's the alien kind of horror movie with killer clowns. I literally kind of throw an homage to every type, to the suspense of Psycho, you know. And
Dr. Laurie Strode, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. Name wise, there's tons of
Jamie Curtis.
Yeah.
There's a Jamie Curtis.
Yeah,
that was good stuff.
I bet you there's a few you guys didn't even catch.
Uh-oh. Lance, this is your forte, brother. Let's go over the Easter eggs.
I went over. I looked at all the cast. That's where I wrote my notes. Was mostly how impressed I was with the cast. But was there like something blatantly Easter egg? I mean, was there some just on the names?
There's a bunch, but if you did you catch the subtle reference to another character? Yes, John Franklin plays in reference to his Children of the Corn, right? Character,
right? Isaac.
But he also references another character he played, which most people wouldn't know him for because he was not. You don't see his face in this character role, and it's referenced in the film. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh man, I'm trying. I feel like I just watched it.
We did just watch it.
I mean, I'm just watched it. Like,
oh.
There's these words that are said that are barely audible because this particular character is famous in a comedy horror. You can never make out what he's actually saying.
Which one was it?
Cousin It.
Oh, okay.
That's right. I looked that up.
Cousin It in Addams Family.
Okay.
And so there's a scene where right before the door gets answered when they appear for the first time, it's like, what's up? It sounds like Cousin It talking.
I mentioned that to Zombie when her and I were watching it. Because I was looking up the details on who was what character and so on and so forth, so that I had some notes for tonight's episode. And I mentioned something about Cousin It to Zombie when we were watching it.
Right. What about Adrian Barbeau and the Creep Show reference?
Yes, about the box. My husband brought home a box.
What's in the box?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's Creep Show. Because I texted you. I was like, oh, they just did Creep Show.
There's other ones, but I don't want to give too much away. There's other subtle ones. I like to see who finds them and writes me. It's fun. So,
that's good stuff.
Okay, so we're gonna do a game and we're gonna do a contest for everybody out there listening right now. Okay, you have to find as many Easter eggs as possible by watching this movie, and we want you to send them to us, and we will verify the Easter eggs, and whoever gets the most will win a prize from Sacrificial Pawn Productions and Sacrificial Terror Podcast.
Hell yeah.
I will send you a T-shirt from Normal Terror and Sacrificial Pawn Productions.
There you go.
Awesome. That works. That'll work.
And it's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon Prime.
T-shirt and whatever underwear.
That's right.
Right. Lance already has the Normal Terror T-shirt. He's excluded.
That's right. Hey, real quick, I was going to ask about Nina Hartley.
Nina, yep.
I think of all the people that we'll probably ever talk to, she will have the most acting credits on IMDb. She had like 685 acting credits, which we know what a lot of them were, but
holy shit,
that's a lot.
685.
Dude, that is ridiculous.
I looked that up. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Which, a lot of them were, what they were, but, still, they're acting credits. So.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That was amazing.
What were they?
Porn.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
That's the really thing.
Porn,
That was the whole joke.
It's Nina Hartley. The name should say,
I don't watch porn. I didn't know it was her. If you would have said like Jenna Jameson, then I would know that was a porn star. That's like
why she played the dominatrix. Yeah, that's why she played
Nina
the.
has crossed over into mainstream entertainment. She was in she was also in, yeah, remember the character she played in now I'm gonna space out on the movie, but
I
you
do it
know
all
what
the
I'm talking about. She played the cuckolding, kind of the wife of the guy that's being cuckolded in a very famous Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. Right. No, she was the nympho, the out of control nympho.
Of course she was.
Yeah. But she's actually she was in my documentary film, and that's how I met Nina for the first time. And I thought she had a potential gift in comedy that wasn't being mined, and that's where I wanted to give her that opportunity to do something comedically, and that's
she
where
was
this came about. And
the guy from Fargo was her husband in Boogie Nights.
Right.
I can see his face, and I'm blanking on the name.
Yeah, I am too. But
I'm glad you said Boogie Nights. That was bothering me.
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen that forever.
Good movie.
So like to use some of the references, like we used in the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, using like Pet Cemetery and Children of the Corn and stuff like that. Did you have to get rights to that, or is it because you're not showing?
No, there were obvious parodies. So in that case, there was no issue with it. I mean, it's almost like a DJ making a song where he only takes a little piece of other music and reads it, or she takes a piece of other music and remakes a song. If it's a very little percentage of a project, and if it's an obvious parody, there's a level of fair use that you can get away with. And I've had it cleared through an attorney that specializes in this, and we made sure we were good for all those sort of things.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, because
I was actually most concerned. Yeah, no, for horror stuff, I wasn't so worried about. It was mostly the Mr. Potato Head that appeared in the film that was freaking me out. And the attorney's like,
that
no,
was
it's totally
hilarious, by the way. That was absolutely hilarious, by the way.
Thank you. I loved it too. The setup to this like jump scare thing in this hallway, this creepy thing, and then just this most bizarre reveal to me was just so much fun. And it really represents on another level Adam's character. He's like a Mr. Potato Head. Like he has many faces, and the way he stylizes and does his because he's also playing the makeup artist he's made up. Really, there is no makeup artist, right? So.
Okay, so I want to clarify something real quick. Our producer Samantha just told us that we needed to clarify where the Easter eggs need to be sent. So the Easter eggs need to be sent to the Sacrificial Terror message box.
On Facebook, right?
On Facebook. So that way we can check them all there, and we can verify all the information. We can consult with Mr. Nicholas right here and verify that everybody has everything right and what they have right and whatever else. But you have to watch the fucking movie first. You can't just pretend and say a bunch of shit that we've mentioned on here because we're not giving them all away.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yep.
So
and we need
you
to log in for
that.
Amazon and your password, and we have to go underneath your recent orders. And
right.
That's what I'm talking
we have to check everything. But we're not going to order anything. We promise.
Well, I see the cat in the background over there too. What's the name of the cat?
That right there?
Yeah.
On the beds? That's actually
Zombie
a dog.
Barbie, your cat.
It's actually a dog.
Oh, that's a dog? Oh.
Her name is Dahlia. I named her after the Black Dahlia murder.
Dahlia is the dog that looks like a cat.
Yeah. Yeah, she's passed out. I bring her to work too, and everybody's like, "Oh, what a cute little cat." I'm like, she's a dog. She doesn't move much, obviously, like the Black Dahlia murder.
Hopefully, we didn't give her an identity crisis there, but
she doesn't care.
Well, I mean, back in the late '90s, there was a show called Cat Dog, so I mean that could totally work.
That's true.
Totally,
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's
there's a drinking game as well for Hell's Kitty. Did you see that?
Oh,
like someone created a drinking game and put it online, and people were setting these games up and sending us stuff. It was pretty funny. So
that's
we
cool.
actually now put it up on our website. So if you go to hellskitty.com, you can find it on there. It was a good idea. It was fun. So yeah.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out.
Right.
So I didn't actually see the musical. So were you in it?
No. I wrote the book and a lot of the music with another composer named a few other composers. one of the ones that contributed the most is her name is Alexa Borden. And then there were a few other composers, Miguel Coitz, Albert, I should say. That's his name as a composer. He's from Germany. He helped me with the song, the Chainsaw Kitty song, and
awesome.
he did the music video.
Chainsaw Kitty!
So, no, I'm behind the scenes on this one completely. But the guy who plays Nick is very talented and a great singer, solid actor. His name's Joey Hunt. And there's 2 more shows left, and we're super excited by them. We've been getting pretty good audiences coming in, and we had a lot of people last night for last night's show.
Great.
And I think we're going to sell out these last 2 shows.
Is there blood in the musical, or is it like ribbons and stuff? Blood?
Yeah, like silk red ribbons, kind of representing blood. For a couple of reasons. One, it was really cool and creative and artsy in some way, but I think the real reason was the director was concerned about blood on the stage, where like they had to clean it later and they had to make set it up and get crazy. Yeah, so it wasn't like we were the only ones in that stage as part of Fringe Fest. So other people come and go. So we didn't just have the stage for a week, right? In which case we could probably get away with that if we wanted to. But so we had to be creative, which is sort of like the web show. I mean, the web show started with being creative in an apartment on a super low budget. So we had to we didn't want any company moves. We needed to shoot angles that kept your interest. So you're in one apartment, but pretty much for 85-90% of the movie, you don't feel like you're stuck in one apartment. You're moving it, and that was a true creative challenge, which I think we met. I think we met it, and it was great. So
Nice.
Okay, so Rhiannon, what was your favorite part of the movie?
I'm going to say, just because I'm a Killer Clowns fan, when I saw that come in, I was like, I lost my shit. But it was hard because so much of it was your facial expressions through all of it. That's what I honestly watched the most, because you were so good at just making all these expressions. And I was like, holy shit, he's good. So it's hard because it was all really good. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite part, but I'm going to have to say Killer Clowns that was my favorite because I love that movie.
Okay. Lance.
I'm going to go the scenes with anything with Kelly Maroney in it. Because she's I met her last year. She's one of my favorites. I've known her since 83, 84. So
holy shit, dude!
Yeah, she's been around for a long time. And then Chanel, the one with Chanel came in, Ryan, and I met her last. I met them at the same convention last year, and so that was a big deal seeing those 2 in action.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. And for me personally, I think my favorite part. What's that?
I think he was saying.
Okay.
That was the ghost.
Yeah. Ghost in the Machine.
It does not surprise me. So I think my favorite part. I think my favorite part was when Laurie Strode lost her eye.
That was good.
That was good.
That was fantastic.
Good practical effects too. Really good practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed them.
Oh. And then of course you have who was it? It was Michael Berryman that found the finger?
And he's all chewing on it.
We're like, what?
Right?
Why is he doing this? I guess that was a cannibalistic thing. The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
Chewing on the finger. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, that was very much so. He was a parody of his character, the mutant Pluto in The Hills Have Eyes. But there's another, you saw the musical, and that point was super confusing for people that never saw the movie. Of course, I like that scene, so I kept it in there, and it does play in. But one of the things that people don't realize too is what the name Pluto is. Pluto, not only is it a planet, not a planet, whatever. Now I don't know.
Dude, it was a planet in the fucking 70s and 80s. It's a fucking planet now.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely a part of our universe. And Pluto, which is fitting for the planet Pluto, because Pluto's the Roman god equivalent to Hades, the Greek god Hades, or the god of the underworld. And so Pluto, being the detective of the underworld, seeking the soul of Rosemary Carey, of course, his dog is Cerberus, who guards the underworld. So there's a lot of mythology references in it as well, which I'm a huge fan of all kinds of mythologies. So I like Dante's Inferno, and so I love that kind of play in the story as well. And of course, Pluto the Mutant, that's a reference, I'm sure, to the god of the underworld too, in many ways. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
In my personal opinion, any planet you can see from Uranus is a fucking planet.
Uranus. Just had to get that one in there, huh?
and if you do enough yoga, you can see a lot of planets from Uranus.
Right?
Just had to work that one in.
Hey, here on Earth, we don't call those planets. So, what else do you have in the works? What are you going to do next? Is Hell's Kitty the musical going to be playing anywhere else? Is this the last run for it? What's going on?
I don't have the answer for that right now. I would like to see it continue. I didn't finance. I mean, it was mainly financed by a group called New Musicals Inc., New Musicals Incorporated. I know they've talked about doing a few other one-offs and maybe an extended run here or there. I guess that's going to depend on evaluations after this run and what other things they're doing. But we're definitely going to publish it and put it out there for people to do around the U.S. and the world. And it's definitely been a learning lesson for me. I think it came out better than I expected. I would like to turn it into a TV series. I feel like there is no musical comedy horror TV series out there right now. And if I think of Little Shop of Horrors or Rocky Horror Picture Show, I think there's definitely a market and an interesting, exactly. I think there's a market for that. And I think Hell's Kitty would fit nicely in that. So that's an intent of mine. I'm on the verge of optioning a new feature film that's a thriller right now. I can't really speak to it yet because we're still going back and forth, and I'm hoping the deal goes through. But that's that would be a $7.5 million budget movie project. And then I got a bunch of TV stuff that I'm looking to develop in the near future too. So that's what's happening. I have a book coming out, actually, a kid's book that's sort of a comedy horror book called Monsters Are Afraid of Babies, which will be out in September. So that one,
That's cool.
That'll be fun.
Dude, that's almost like a playoff for like Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
Kinda?
yeah. Very, very much. Yeah, it's like a play on that. Different, though. It was actually inspired by my nephew, who insisted on having his baby sister stay in the room with him when he was scared of monsters. And I'm like, why are you doing that? He's like, everyone knows monsters are afraid of babies. I'm like, really?
Aww, that's cute.
So I'm like, there's a children's story in there somewhere.
Now, are you going to give him right?
Yeah, some royalties.
He is dedicated. It's dedicated to him, actually, and story. Yeah, and I mentioned that in the forward. Inspired the story. And it's cool. It really is reflects also, like, if you think about it, like all siblings, when they have their new baby brother or sister or whatever, it's scary, the change. And I think we're all scared of change. So I think there's bigger messages in this children's story as well. Not to give too much away, but yeah, I'm excited for that coming out in September. So September, October, time for Halloween.
Perfect.
Nice.
Time. Will it be?
And back to school.
I don't know if you already mentioned this, but where will it be available? Is it going to be on like Amazon, or do you have a publisher?
It should be on Amazon and a lot of it'll be published by New Classics Books. It should be on Amazon for sure. So
nice.
That'll definitely be a main area to be able to get it.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
The audiobook too. We're working on the audiobook with the sound designer from Hell's Kitty. He's going to help me with the audiobook version of that. So
nice.
That's going to be better than most audiobooks. So it'll be great.
Cool. Hell yeah. We'll have to look for that. You'll have to let us know when it comes out.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll follow with that.
Awesome.
All right. What else we got? Where can we go with this? Come on.
I know.
Well, I would like to let everyone know the musical, the last chance they have to see it if they live in LA, is this weekend. So this Friday and Saturday, there's still a few tickets left. There'll be a big after party on the Saturday night show as well with the director and producer. But that's going to be very limited. It's just to the cast and people and certain people in the audience if they come down that day.
So does that mean I have an invite?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. Yeah. You'll have an invite. You got to come back down on Saturday. You got to come down and meet us, and then you'll have a open invite.
You got it, brother. All right, and if I do that, I'm going to go live on the podcast so we can talk about it and get some reactions from fans for it.
Do it. Let's do it. We'll make it
You guys,
happen.
are you guys okay with that, Lance?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since we can't be there, we'll be there in spirit.
That's right.
There you go.
I wish
I'm
Texas
all right
was
with
closer.
I know. I wish Idaho was closer.
Right?
Closer than you are, though.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's right.
I know Sam was saying after Sam watched it, he was saying that he wants you to take it to Broadway.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to. I would super love to. I think there's nothing like it out there, and the music's very original. And I hope that it can happen one day. I would like to see that. I actually have another musical I'm going to be working on, very, very different from this. It's more of a parody on a lot of the mob stories set in the 1920s, which I'm going to work on. But I would like to see Hell's Kitty go there too. I really do. I think it warrants it. You guys saw the show, or Sam saw the show, and I think I think it stands on its own, and it's really something special. So we got great reviews too. So if you don't go on Google it, look for reviews on it. Haunting, I think .net did a nice review on it. Pop Horror did a really great article on it as well. I
gotta ask one question too before we let you go.
Sure.
What was it like working with a Catwoman?
Oh, with Lee Merriweather?
Yes.
Yeah. She was amazing. She was super cool. Actually, probably one of the best in the sense that Angel really scratched her. Like, she got scratched during the scene. So, bye.
That was legit.
Yeah. So she got scratched during the scene with me, and so I'm not even acting there. I'm like freaking out. Like, I'm like, oh my God. All these thoughts are going through my head. Like, I see her bleeding on my Catwoman comic, and I'm like, oh shit, she really scratched Lee Merriweather. Oh my God, I'm gonna get sued by Lee Merriweather. I'm like, shit, Lee Merriweather ruined my collector Catwoman comic.
Dude,
That's
bucket
cool.
list check right there.
That's cool.
So I'm like, all right, this is the deal. Let's see. First of all, check, see if she's all right. And she was fine. She was cool. She's like, I had cats. I'm like, thank God you signed the release. And then afterwards, actually, if you go check out the episode 7 web show with Lee Merriweather in it on the Hell's Kitty web series, wait to the end credits. You'll see the Robert Reed Altman, who's the son of Robert Altman, the famous filmmaker who did MASH and tons of Popeye, a lot of films. His son helped me shoot that scene with Lee.
Wow.
And he even says at the end, he's like, we have your DNA.
That's awesome.
So that comic's worth money, I'm sure. And I had her sign it. What I want to do with it is one day I'm going to be a guest at Comic-Con this year, and I usually am at San Diego. I'd like to take it there and do an auction of it and donate it to nonprofits to help cats. I feel like I really can't capitalize on Lee Merriweather's blood, but I can do something like where I can raise something.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah.
What a story.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right?
Dude, there's a lot of bucket list stories in this interview right here, man. I'm fucking just blown away by all this shit. This is fucking awesome. And the cool thing is that I actually fucking met and got pictures with this guy. I know him.
There you go. Live vicariously through Nicholas.
I'll tell you one more tidbit before we wrap up here. Michael Berryman, awesome guy. He was on set in I would say it was around October 24th when we shot that. It was late October. And I remember because I thought we were totally in the clear in terms of weather. And this is in Los Angeles. He had to wear that coat in the scene. I don't want to give too much away for those who haven't seen the movie yet, but he has a rare condition where he doesn't have sweat glands. That's why he looks the way he does. He made a career out of that condition in terms of being the inimitable face of this mutant-looking tough dude. But he's a super sincere, super kind, super heartfelt guy. And anyway, I was concerned, his manager was concerned for him, because that day he was on set with this heavy trench coat, we didn't have air conditioning on set.
Oh shit.
105 degrees in Los Angeles,
Oh.
which is not often the case.
Dude.
It's a rare record weather temperature in October, especially at that time of year. And it was like the curse of Hell's Kitty. He's dying. He literally could die, having no sweat glands. We had to have 2 PAs just fan him the whole time in between scenes. I was freaking out, worried about him dying, but he, like a trooper, he made it through that scene and pulled it off. And thank God, nothing bad happened. But
Yeah.
You ain't kidding.
but it was, yeah,
Oh,
it
that
was,
would've been
so I worked
horrible.
in the whole condition into the scene and talk about it because I feel like he's so not that guy. He's not a bad guy. He's like he's a cool, funny guy, you know.
Right.
So.
Mhm.
Dude, I would love to work with half the people you worked on just this film alone.
Yeah. I want to work with
You know-
Bill Ober so bad. I love him.
Right.
He's actually a very nice guy to work with.
Yeah,
Very,
he really is.
he's if you get him on set, he'll do whatever he can to make it work, and he puts
Mhm.
100%. He's a very talented, I think, underrated actor.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of us that know him are wondering why he's not like even bigger. He's big, you know, in his
Yeah.
world, but he's got serious skills.
He'll be in the new Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm happy for him. He deserves to be bigger than.
That's
Really
great.
does.
Yeah.
Well, seeing how he's your friend, Zombie, I think we need to have him on the show.
We should.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. I don't know if he does that
Yeah.
though, really, because I haven't really seen much of that. But it'd be cool if he did.
Well,
so
hit
sweet. He's such a
up
nice
your
person.
friend. Hit up your friend and be like, "Hey, would you like to come on our show?"
I will.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. Okay, so this is the part of the show where we do. Actually, you know what? I want to ask you something real quick. Have you seen the Normal Terror trailer? My film.
I think that's what you showed when I met you in Long Beach, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I have seen it. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. What did you
If
think
it's
of
the
it?
same one. If it's the same one,
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's the same one.
I wouldn't know.
But you show him.
Well,
Did
no,
you
because we've
laugh or
gone
the
through a
butcher?
couple of different sizzle reels, so I think that's the right one. So what did you think about that? Because I actually forgot that I was on the LaBaffa panel with you.
Yeah.
So, and that was where we met.
I'm glad I made such a memorable impression.
I feel like such a dick.
God, Sam, you asshole. You're kind of a dick.
Well, no, I was looking through the pictures of LaBaffa, and I was like, holy shit, Nick, that's Nicholas. And I was like, oh my God, what a fucking idiot. That's where I know him from.
How can you forget that? We had a
Yeah.
cake with our face on it. Like, you know, it was like, who
Dude,
does
you know
that?
what pisses me off about that? Somebody actually ate my fucking face.
You should feel honored.
I wanted, dude, I wanted to take my face home and save it, and somebody ate my fucking face, man.
Sam, you got to realize you cannot have your cake and eat it too. That's just not
Damn.
saying that for years.
That old saying.
So, all right, this is the moment of the show where we give our shout outs and thank everybody who's helped us get where we are and everybody that's helped us, promote and move along the way. So, Nick, I'm going to let you start off. You can promote anything you want to promote. Take it away, brother.
I would just like anyone in Los Angeles, come out, check out our show. I think there's still tickets left. Hell's Kitty Musical at the Broadwater Theater as part of Hollywood Fringe Fest. And check it out on Amazon Prime. If you can't be at the musical, check out the show. It's still on Amazon Prime. If you have Prime,
Really
it's free.
good.
You can find out a little about it on hellskitty.com. Follow us on social media. All the links are on hellskitty.com. And just keep an eye out. Find me on Instagram if you like the interview and you want to connect. I'm always doing new things. That's what I got for now. That's all I can talk about right now. But
Anybody in particular you want to thank that's helped you? Shout out to your actors,
like
cast,
myself.
crew.
There's too many to mention because I literally had blessed with a lot of people that have participated in my projects and been great. I'm thankful to all of you guys for having me on the show and for coming out and being an awesome part of the Hell's Kitty musical. Sam and his crew, they were the ones laughing the most at the horror innuendos. They got them all.
Yeah.
The theater crowd doesn't really get all the horror stuff. They got it, so I really appreciate that. So it's been a blast.
It was a pleasure, brother.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Got it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We've been excited all week. We're like, oh, we can't wait for
Right.
Sunday.
Hell yeah. So, all right, Zombie, take it away.
All right. So I want to thank my Sacrificial Terror team, Sam, Lance, and Samantha. Samantha's behind the scenes, but we love her. She's amazing. I have to look at my little list because otherwise I forget everybody. I want to thank Aaron Lee at Crazy Ink Publishing for my book that'll be releasing in March, Broken Halo, and then in May, Broken Halo 2, Blood Curse. Also Christopher Inlow, I did a short film with him called 3 Bodies, 1 Grave. It'll be releasing sometime, hopefully this year. We're not sure yet. It's just a short film, Friday the 13th fan film. Ron Scott and Dan Yeager, me and Lance are actually going to be doing a live show on Facebook with them on July 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it was? So
That's right.
tune in there. They're going to be talking about some of their new projects and stuff. Also, John Johnson with Darkstone Entertainment. I did a part in his feature film that'll be out sometime this year as well. And then Aaron Passantine with Family Film Productions. I did some voiceover work for The Legacy of the Parent Trap. It's a Disney Pictures approved documentary.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, all right, Lance, take it away, brother.
I just wanted to, I want to plug a couple of movies. I came across, I think I told y'all about Death Day. It can be picked up at Walmart. Jason Horton directed that, and it's like a fun movie. It's got Kevin Caliban and Scott Butler, and they're working together. All three of those guys are working together for 16 Bits movie, which I've been promoting big time on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then the group, the CCH group that I'm in, that we're all in now, I guess, they've also made a movie, and it's a found footage movie like Nicholas was talking about, and it's called She Walks the Woods. Their Kickstarter starts off on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday.
Nice. Okay.
So, and then also, I came across Blind. I think I already mentioned Blind with Marcel Walsh. We had that joke last week.
Yes! Does he look like a bitch?
We had our joke. Anyway, I found out, I just totally blanked. He also did the remake of Blood Feast. So if
Nice.
you've never seen that, so that's the connection between Blind and Blood Feast. So, and then my daughter's 20th birthday was yesterday, Jenna. She wants to say
Woo, happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
So, and then I love you guys, and thank you so much, Nicholas, for being on with us. This is so cool, getting to meet you and get to talk to you. I think he's muted.
Are you muted?
Yeah, his mic is muted.
I'm back.
Woo! All right, welcome back, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Nicholas.
All right.
So,
It's been an
You
honor.
guys take care. Keep me posted. I'll check out your podcast when you put this out there, and hopefully we'll see you, Sam, at another show. So
you got it,
Nice
brother.
to meet
I
you.
will be there Saturday.
okay,
So-
sounds good. Cheers.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Have a good one, brother.
Bye.
All right, and now I'm going to go through my list of special thank yous. This week, I would like to thank Mr. Lance Dale, L2 himself. His company, Metallics Inc., out of La Crosse, Wisconsin, is putting together some stickers for our show, Sacrificial Terror Podcast, and he's also putting together some stickers for Normal Terror, the movie.
Oh,
So
cool.
we will have more merchandise and cool stuff coming out. I want to thank My Indie Productions and the guys over there, Atai and
Yes.
Asif. I don't know how to fucking say that. Keep an eye out for The Butcher. And let me see. I want to give a shout out to the guys over at Kill Giggles, Mr. Jason Buterin. Those guys are doing a phenomenal job. They just got going on their production, Kill Giggles, with Vernon Wells, and some awesome things going on over there. So I want to give him a shout out. And I also want to let everybody know that we are completely and utterly sponsored by Sacrificial Pawn Productions. And we are looking for more sponsors, but we also have a lot of big things in the works. So you guys stay tuned. We got a lot of things coming, and we're out. So you guys have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. And hey, thanks to all the new people out there that signed up this week and joined our podcast and our page. We had a huge spike this week. So we really appreciate you guys. We have some of our top fans that have really taken off in a lot of stuff. Especially a lot of Lance's people have become all of our people. What is it? David Martin, I think it was, awesome. Lance, that put together the meme or the meme of the joke last week.
The meme,
that sounds stupid. Don't say that. It's a meme.
No, it's a meme. It's a M-E-M-E. It's meme, okay?
And Lance Dell made one too. Lance Dell made one too. And I encourage more and more memes, more and more memes.
Was it the Scooby-Doo one?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was funny.
So, and don't forget, right? And don't forget that we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we are on Podbean, we are on iTunes. Yes.
I think we are, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure
so go check out all of our platforms. We're also now on Instagram. So you guys go check out our Instagram, like, share, get our stuff out there, help us grow and become a part of the team. And don't forget, we're now running a contest for the most Easter eggs in whoever sends us the most Easter eggs that was in Hell's Kitty. After you watch it, we'll win a Normal Terror shirt. And if we have the stickers in from L2 by then you guys will get a sticker as well.
And it's on Prime. It is on Prime.
It is on Amazon Prime. So go check out Hell's Kitty. Thank you, Mr. Nicholas Tana. Thank you guys. I love you guys. And we'll talk to you soon. Rihanna, yes, you.
And also Matthew Price Thompson for all of our artwork.
Yes. Matthew Price Thompson is absolutely phenomenal. He's amazing. We love him to death. And if you guys need any of your graphic artwork done, give that man a call. He will hook you up.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Absolutely. All right. So we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.